Have you ever felt just completely stuck? Facing a problem so massive, so overwhelming, that you have no idea what to do next? Well, what if I told you there's an ancient text that's basically a user manual for those exact moments? Today, we're going to dive into the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But forget what you think you know. We're not treating this as some dusty old scripture, but as a practical, hands-on guide for life's biggest battles.
So the whole idea here is to frame the Gita as a guide for right now, for modern times. The wisdom in here isn't just for scholars or monks. It's meant to be applied directly to our daily struggles, to our own personal battlefields, you could say. It's designed to be used.
And here's where it gets really bold. The claim is that the Gita is a universal problem solver. Think about that. Any doubt you have, any anxiety that keeps you up at night, any impossible dilemma you're facing, the answers are supposedly right here. That's a pretty powerful statement, and it really sets the stage for what we're about to see.
All right, so where does this incredible conversation even begin? We're on a battlefield, the legendary battlefield of Kurukshetra. But here's the thing you have to remember. This is not a war between strangers. This is a civil war. It's one single massive family about to absolutely tear itself apart. We're talking cousin against cousin, student against teacher. It's brutal.
So you've got two sides. On one, we have the Kauravas, led by the power-hungry Duryodhana, and on the other, the Pandavas, which includes our main guy, the incredible warrior Arjuna. The whole thing kicks off with Duryodhana sizing up the Pandava army, pointing out all their best fighters to his own teacher. It's almost like a CEO doing a risk assessment before a hostile takeover. He wants to know exactly what he's up against. And then, the moment comes. One by one, the legendary warriors on both sides raise their conch shells and blow. And this sound, it's not just a starting pistol. It's described as being so powerful, so earth-shattering, that it literally shakes the hearts of the men on the other side. It's pure psychological warfare, a booming declaration of strength meant to terrify the enemy before a single arrow even flies.
Okay, and right here, everything changes. The camera, if you will, zooms in. The focus shifts from these two giant armies and all the politics of war to the intensely personal experience of just one man, Arjuna. This is where the real story, the inner story, begins.
So Arjuna does something unexpected. He, the greatest archer in the world, turns to his charioteer, who just so happens to be Lord Krishna in disguise, and asks him to drive the chariot right into the middle of the battlefield, into that no-man's land between the two armies. And why? He says he wants to get a good look. He wants to see, face to face, who has shown up to fight for the evil-minded Duryodhana. He wants to look his enemies in the eye.
And what he sees just breaks him, because he's not looking at some faceless, abstract enemy. He's looking at his life. He sees Bhishma, his great-grandfather, the man who practically raised him. He sees Drona, the teacher who taught him everything he knows about archery. He sees his uncles, his cousins, his brothers, his friends. These are the people he loves, and these are the people he's supposed to kill.
This is the moment that triggers what's called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Now, when you hear the word yoga, you probably think of stretching, right? Well, here it means something totally different. It's a path, a state of being. And this is the yoga of despair. It's not some ancient abstract idea. It's that universal human feeling of being so completely crushed by a situation that you're forced to look for a deeper truth.
Arjuna's reaction is completely physical. Look at his own words here. He literally feels his strength draining away. His mouth goes bone dry. His whole body starts to shake uncontrollably. This is a panic attack. It's that same overwhelming anxiety you might feel before a huge presentation or a life-altering decision. His body is just shutting down.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? His physical collapse is just a symptom of this massive moral collapse happening inside him. The question that has him totally paralyzed is simple, but it's devastating. How can he possibly lift his bow against the very people he loves? Now, what's so fascinating is that Arjuna doesn't just have an emotional breakdown. He's a smart guy. So he starts to build this logical, point-by-point argument for why he absolutely should not fight. And isn't this what we all do? When we're faced with something terrifying or a duty we don't want to do, our minds get to work, building these elaborate, rational-sounding cases for why we should just walk away. He basically lays out 4 killer arguments. First, he says, this is just wrong. Killing my own family is a terrible sin. Second, he worries about tradition, saying, this war will destroy the very fabric of our family. Third, he goes down the slippery slope. If our families fall, all of society will collapse into chaos. And finally, he argues that it's all pointless. Even if we win, so what? The victory will be empty, built on the bodies of everyone we care about.
And the core of his entire case really hinges on this one concept, Kula Dharma. Think of these as the sacred duties, the timeless traditions that are the glue holding a family and, by extension, all of society together. Arjuna's great fear is that by killing the elders, the ones who hold this wisdom, he'll set off a chain reaction that will destroy righteousness itself.
And right here, his despair just hits rock bottom. He says it himself. He doesn't want the kingdom, he doesn't want the victory, he doesn't even want his own life, if this is the price. He is willing to give up absolutely everything to avoid this fight.
So this is the perfect setup. The problem couldn't be clearer. The greatest warrior on earth is completely broken, armed with a battery of logical reasons not to do his duty, and he is desperate for an answer. The stage is perfectly set for the wisdom that's about to come from Krishna.
And the chapter ends with this incredibly powerful image. Arjuna, the master archer, the hero, just throws down his famous bow, the Gandiva, and collapses in his chariot. He is utterly defeated by his own heart before the battle has even begun.
So you see, this first chapter doesn't give us a single answer, not one. Instead, it leaves us with this huge, profound question. A question that, honestly, we all face in our own lives. When your duty, as a professional, as a parent, as a friend, collides head-on with your conscience, what do? Which path do you take? That is the warrior's dilemma, and that is the problem Krishna is about to solve.